before you get into the main video, to which you can find the timestamp below, a small advertisement. The Debate Society is conducting the Felicity Debate Tournament from the 21st to the 23rd of February, and registrations close on the 15th. Since the event is taking place right before Felicity, you won't have to miss out on the fun. Plus, you guys have the lowest amount of workload during Felicity, take my word for it. The tournament is a beginner-friendly tournament, so if you're interested in debating, you should definitely register. The link to the event Discord is on all of DebSoc's social media, so head over there for more information. I will be making a small announcement at the end of the podcast as well.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. I hope y'all are doing great. How is the DAS assignment for everyone?
Well, I have just read the topics mostly, like what we have to do.
Bro, it's
Like
due
it's pretty.
17th.
Wait, wait, assignment 2 is already
Yeah,
out?
I have not
Oh
read
no,
that.
what assignment?
About that.
All right, so I've successfully engaged 3 out of 5 people. Moving on.
The other two are mute. I don't know if they know that they are mute. By the way.
I'm really happy to not be engaged in this conversation.
Alright, so Lit Club is one of the clubs that I've noticed y'all collaborate a lot with other clubs. So you've collaborated this year a lot with DebSoc at least. I was going through your social media, you've collaborated with Hacking Club, Ping, Quiz Club. So how do y'all go about that?
So I think it's mostly like we have an idea of some event, and we can say, okay, yes, we can involve this club in this particular event, and that's how it mostly goes. But if I talk about Which Please, it was mostly like we thought of like 5 or 6 events, and then we were like, what more we can add to Which Please? And then we started thinking about clubs, and okay, can we collaborate with this club? So it was literally how it went for Which Please. We were, looking for collaborations to,
I
make
see.
Which Please even bigger. So
Yeah, so mostly like during this semester, like the idea of collaboration started mostly with Which Place itself. So like we found that there were these categories that we can collaborate with other clubs and like make it bigger and like have it more, have it done more well, basically, with more people coming in and giving their inputs. So I guess that was
and after we like initially it was most of the time us approaching other clubs, but DebSoc and Ping have it's both ways now, and since the collaborations have increased, even more clubs have started approaching us. Okay, can we do this? So like even right now we are in conversation with the club for a collab next month. So yeah.
Nice. So how did you wait? I really find this interesting. Y'all do like these seasons, these weeks of events which are theme based. Where did that start from? Because that's super interesting, and I'm fairly certain we got inspired to use that as well.
So yeah, that started with basically a very so once we went online, earlier people used to have these small book discussion sessions or things like that, which were not necessarily say formal events as such, but just a few people who really enjoy things coming together and discussing wherever possible. Then when we went online, people were like, okay, why not? It started with a book recommendation cycle where people nominated each other on Facebook. So that is how it started. And then once that was happening, we were like, okay, why not we make it public and why not we do this every week? We have it in a more organized way, right? So that is how the idea came out. And then we thought that it would be better if we keep it around a theme every week, because that way we get to like channelize things and things like think about them in a more organized manner, basically. So that was the gist of it. So that is how it started, and obviously book recommendations, pop culture recommendations, and things like that. So that was how it started.
Which is
We
what?
actually have we usually have the movie recommendations on the page, Movie Geeks at IIIT. But we thought that if the recommendations are coming from our side in a more themed manner, like people would really appreciate it.
Wait, so which
yeah,
club
like
is?
it also
Uh-huh.
helps like So like suppose you are into a certain kind of genre and like you want to like explore more stuff about that. So like that also I guess helps quite a bit like with the help of the thematic theater that we're that was.
So, I've been trying to ask this question for the past two times, but I guess because of lag, it's kind of weird. My bad. Which club is your favorite club to work with?
Okay,
Uh,
I would let
I
you
mean, yes, we know what you want to hear, so.
Be
go.
honest. Be honest.
So, I would personally name two clubs, the Debate Society and the Quiz Club. We for like this year, when like as myself as coordinator, I got only one event with the Quiz Club, but yeah, that was super fun to organize.
Uh,
I
Bhavyajeet,
don't know
what
about
about
the
you?
others, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so debate club has always been good to work with. I mean,
Uh-huh.
like there's a lot of potential for the type of events that you can do with these
Uh-huh.
guys. So you can have anything in like anything in any fictional world, and then you can make it into a
Yep.
what debate and discussion, just a minute, any sort of that speaking session, and you have a collaboration. So the type of events that you can come up with is really vast. So that's really good. Apart from that, yeah, quiz club has been good. We have had like Rishi has really helped us collaborate with quiz clubs in the past, so all those things, yeah. So that way quiz club has been good. And apart from that, we have this say writing session with Ping every year, so that's like a annual thing that keeps on going. So yeah, that's there too.
Um, Shreyas? If y'all have the same answers, yeah,
Yeah, I
fine.
think I would agree.
Uh-huh.
I think I would agree with Paul on this. Like, my favorite club would be DepSoc because, like, a lot
True.
of topics, a lot of debates that can be organized have a lot of scope for like literary things. Like, we had the Game of Thrones debate, the Pokemon debate, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely my first. And the second would be Quiz Club, because like a lot of quizzes can be literary based, like anime, movies, TV shows, etc. So yeah.
Um, if y'all have any other clubs to add in over here, you can go ahead, or else we'll move on.
Hacking club is something that I would like to say that I enjoyed with last time.
Uh-huh.
Like they were good. We had like Yugotham was basically the guy who was doing most of it, so that was good. And the idea started out by saying that okay, we cannot have like an escape of the room session without any tech clues. So it's like most of the like it's easier to have clues which are like based on tech rather than having clues which are hidden somewhere in the room because of logistic reasons and all those things. That is how it started, but it went well. We are looking forward if we could have more collaboration with them, considering that everything is
Yeah.
online now. So that's there. But yeah, they were good. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Any other club you guys want to mention?
Uh, I don't think so.
Photography club has also been kind of fun during Wizardry, I think.
Yeah, right.
During which place I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, photography club was fun. They did good, and yeah. So the clubs that we haven't collaborated so far with are basically, I guess, a music club only.
No,
Dance
We've
we
crew?
have
collaborated
Sorry,
like
collaboration.
dance club, right? So
Uh-huh.
we haven't collaborated
Yeah.
with dance club yet.
Wait, you've collaborated
Apart,
with Music
Yeah.
Club?
Yeah.
yes,
Oh
yes, we
yeah,
did.
which please? The Harry Potter
With,
thing.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
how can I
yeah,
forget?
Yeah.
Wait, one thing I
and now
remember.
we are in talks
Uh-huh. Now you're in talks with?
with the astronomy club as well. So we are gonna have an event
Yeah.
with them too. So
Uh-huh.
I guess dance
yeah.
club is the only one left.
Pretty good.
Wait, I remember
And
this thing
I think
from you go
Yeah, go
on, go
on.
on.
I think when we're back, I think when we're back on campus, maybe we'll find a way to collab with the dance crew as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
gonna be
you just have to
interesting.
find a way to collab. Yeah.
I remember the music club and which plays the collaboration, the result, like Anegola put like he made this Minecraft thing and then Aditya made his other thing which got more votes because he had more social media prowess at that time and he won it and it was really fun and we all had like a good laugh about that. Uh, so
I really want to know how y'all like what exactly went behind having the escape room happen, because as far as I know, it was like a very unique idea and it was like an
Okay,
instant
so
hit.
yeah, so it started with like okay, so it has a lot of backstory behind it. It
Mm-hmm.
started with last time, like not last time, last to last year, Felicity of my first year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was superhero theme Felicity, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
were thinking of having something on those lines,
Mm-hmm.
and since it was based on that, and like mystery rooms was very like becoming a very popular hangout place for people from our college. So we thought of having something like if you have seen Flash, so it was based on Flash season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was called Escape Earth 2 sort of thing, and that is how it started in the first year. And it went really well, and people enjoyed it. Though it's really hard to organize because the number of rooms are limited, and you keep a room occupied for an entire hour. So you have to have the entire Himalaya building booked, which is like a chaotic situation considering that the college administration is not very supportive, especially because according to them those are classrooms, right?
Bro, we
And
got
budget
like
is like,
from Depsoc side, I think we booked like 3 rooms, but we got two or something like that, and it was a hassle.
yeah, right. So that's always a problem, right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so the number of rooms were limited and all those things, and you have to have time slots, etc. But we decided to do it again next time. Before that, on Halloween, we did it once, and that was really, really well. We did not expect a Halloween event to go that well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but most of it was organized by Pranav and like a couple of people from Felicity. Ansh also helped, and all those people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had it next time in Felicity, like 2019 as well. 2020, I mean, sorry, the
Mm-hmm.
20th Felicity. Yeah, that was good, and like we did face a lot of logistics issue. People had to wait a lot. Though, yeah, we are happy that everybody who got a chance enjoyed. But yeah, there were problems. People had to wait half an hour for their slot and things like that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it went well. The idea was decent, I guess.
And speaking of like escape the rooms, we even this year we had conversations with the hacking club regarding a collab, but I think we aimed way too big. So it was supposed to happen during Felicity. I think yeah, we'll certainly do it in the future
Mm-hmm.
because like now even those people are busy with threads and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we had planned a very big thing, and I hope it happens sometime in the future, if
Mm-hmm.
not Felicity.
So, that gives a good segue to whatever y'all have done for Felicity and whatever y'all are planning for Felicity, if y'all are
Well,
open to
the
discuss
first
that.
event,
Mm-hmm.
so the first event that we have planned for Felicity, which is supposed to begin like pre-Felicity.
Arjo, can we keep that a secret? let's talk
Okay.
about
Okay.
let's talk about other events.
All right then, keep your
Yeah.
secrets. Harry Potter. I don't know where it's from actually, but yeah. No, it's not Harry Potter. It's Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
it's
not
a
into.
lot of them.
Oh, it's Lord of
I
the
mean,
Rings.
it's
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah,
mostly super
other
fun.
events, yeah, go on. Alapan, Pahul.
Other events?
Yeah, so one event we have planned is it's a simple like slam poetry session. Everyone can, come and tell a story or tell a poem, and I think it will be a fun event. So we recently had this collaboration with Tay Patel,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people like came up and told their stories, and it was online.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people enjoyed that, like even the audience as well. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why we think it would be a good idea to do it during Felicity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What about previous Felicities events? Do you guys have like interesting like stuff about that? Because
So yeah,
everything was very
for
different in the before
yeah,
online
right.
Sam.
I mean, yeah, so like one of the events that we have had always was treasure hunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Yes.
something that for me has been one of the most decorated events of Felicity, and as well as like throughout otherwise as well, like during induction and when
Mm-hmm.
people come in, because you have like a batch of 200 people running around the entire campus, and it's really fun to organize that and as well as see it basically. So, and everything is very relatable, including the clues, the places that you go
Mm-hmm.
to, and things like that. Uh, so yeah, that is something that we won't be like able to Like nothing
Yeah.
would be able to match the fun of it in an online environment, even if we try to have something on say websites or stuff like that. But yeah, that is something that we are definitely gonna miss. Last year somehow people were more inclined, I would say. I mean, these guys, okay, so when these guys came into organize, we like I asked them whether you wanna participate in organizing the treasure hunt or escape the rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and I expected more people to say that okay, we are not gonna organize treasure hunt because we want to participate in that event,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be fine with organizing escape the room thing. But it was actually the opposite. People were more interested in participating in escape the room, and they wanted to participate there and were fine with organizing treasure hunt. I'm not really sure whether it's because they were more interested in participating in Escape the Room, or whether it was because they really wanted to help me organize treasure hunt. But either way, so yeah. And both those events, like apart from that, we had other events like a manga quiz and things like that. But both those events were events which really depended on a physical presence of people,
Mm-hmm.
and people participated in teams in groups of 4 and 5 with your friends. So yeah, that is something which would be very hard to replicate this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Um,
organizing treasure
mhm.
hunt was a pretty epic event. Like it was pretty fun. Like it was. I'm not sure about Pahul and Shreyas and
Yeah,
if
so like the planning for how we want treasure hunt to be that time was also pretty different because like every year it had one format that you go to the next clue and then you solve it and you go to the next clue. Like that's literally what treasure hunt is. But we wanted to do something different this time somehow. So last year, like we decided that okay, let's branch out clues, and story will split into two storylines. And then, so what happened was, I think after the third clue, you had two fourth clues, 4A and 4B. So I mean, that was a very like that was a touch that I think made the storyline more fun
Yeah,
because
basically everybody had certain characters, right? So all the four
Mm-hmm.
people in your team were assigned a fictional character, and the clues were only accessible to certain characters and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the story writing part was fun.
And last time the story revolved around a murder mystery,
Mm-hmm.
and like each person in the team was assigned characters like Detective Pikachu, Sherlock, and L from Death Note. So like that, all that made it really fun. And in the end, like the team had to discover like how the murder happened and all. So I think like it was really fun organizing all the story and like how it came together.
If y'all are wondering why I seem almost clueless about this, it's because I really wanted to go, but in my 6-person group, only 4 people could go, so I was left out. Why do y'all
that's
always
sad.
same for escape room? I couldn't go because y'all wanted 4 participants and we were 5 at the time. Why do y'all do this to me?
But for escape the room, I guess we were open to having six or more. I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't rem
From what
I'm fairly certain that if it was allowed to
I
6 people, I would have gone.
okay, so I really don't want to say it that way, but mostly it's just your
Yes,
group mates
I
finding
figured.
out
I figured. Yep.
ways. So yeah,
It do be like that.
it,
Right. So moving on, what's the structure behind the scenes of the Lit Club? Like, how is the Lit Club organized in members and coordinators and stuff like that?
okay. So as of now, we have these four super active coordinators from UG2: Pahul, Alapan, Shreyas, and Pavani.
Mm-hmm.
There's me and there's Pranav from UG3.
Mm-hmm.
But like I can definitely say it that past 1 year pretty much has been managed by these people only.
Mm-hmm.
We are just here for pretty much for namesake itself, and like just to help them a bit and all those things. So yeah, mostly it's Pahul, Pavni, Alapan, Shreyas. Then apart from that, we have a team of some really efficient and helpful people. We have Mayank, Zishan, Rishi, and a lot of other people. We have them helping us throughout. We had Sharda as well, who was pretty active in the initial days as too. So yeah, so we have these people, and then obviously we keep on collaborating. So there's that. As of now, we have not divided the team per se in terms of, say, a separate design section or a separate whatever logistics team, marketing team, and so on, because we like to keep our work more distributed, I would say. But apart from that, we do divide and take up tasks whenever an event comes up. So most of the time, we have had multiple events happening simultaneously. Say something like Witch Please, or during Felicity as well, or other times too. So all of us just take up a certain event, or during the first year induction and stuff like that. So all of us take up a certain event and work for that. And even the first years have been really helpful. Some of them have been actively participating in both, like participating as well as organizing events. So yeah, there's that too.
So speaking of first years, we had this event called What the Fudge. It was catered specifically to UG1, and the twist was that we actually said, okay, if you want to help out in organizing an event, and it will be a good experience for you, so just come on and stuff like that. So around 20 first years came, and we had, I think, 3 or 4 events during that, like under the event, and so 5 or 6 people per event. So that was, I think, the first time first years were in the organizing team of any event in the college, I should say. And so yeah, so even after the event, the people who contributed a lot during that event, they still continue to help us. So that's sort of how we expanded our team to first years.
Wait, so the event that you talked of, in that they were supposed to pitch you an idea and then organize that event as well, right?
Yeah, so basically we told them, okay, these are the events that we have had in the past. You can come up with a similar event, or take inspiration from these events, or come up with a new event, like whatever you want to do. And then you 20 people will be organizing these events, and we'll help you, like we'll help you as well. And then the audience will also be only your batch. So they were also pretty excited.
So it was basically the section A people trying to have a welcoming event for the section B people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, so we were handling the logistics and everything, and like they came up with the ideas, and like we also helped a little
And
bit.
then like they came up with an idea, we sort of improved the idea. Okay, instead of this, you can do this, and stuff like that.
wait, that's so interesting because it's like you're training them to be the next lit club. So like midway through, you're giving them this trial run. That's super cool. I don't,
Yeah, kind of that. Yeah.
yeah, bro. That's like why I'm right now. I'm thinking, why didn't we think of that and stuff like that? Right. Moving on. So wait. So how do I become the coordinator of lit club?
So, for these people, like they were all really, really active during Felicity and even otherwise. I still remember our first Lit Club meet that we had for your batch, for the UG2 batch. And it was basically a comic book discussion session and like a just a minute sort of an event where people were asked to come up and they got a minute to talk about anything, any literary piece that they admire and they would want to pitch to others, right? So it was just a fun event where you come up and you pitch things that you like, and you talk to everybody. So 1 hour after the event, I see Pahul and Shreyas still talking about things and still discussing things in the hostel, like the buckle entrance, right? So we were there, and like they have been interested. They have been super interested right from the first day. So that was there.
It's
Apart
like
from
you're
that,
talking
all
about your children. Yeah.
okay, so yeah, during Felicity, Pavani, Pahul, Shreyas, Alapan, all of them, even Sharda, like they were all super interested and like really managed everything pretty much on their own. So yeah, that is how we decided our coordinators. It was nothing very formal, though we did ask them for a plan or a like draft of things that they would want to do next. So that was pretty much it. And next year it's entirely up to you guys, whatever you wanna do.
Wait,
So
so Bhavyajeet, how did you become a coordinator?
okay, so for me it was Aditya was the only coordinator from my like from the then UG3 batch. Like he's currently in UZ4. So Aditya was the only coordinator then, and it was pretty much the same for me. I helped in certain events during Felicity, and even Pranav was there. So that was one time. Apart from that, I attended a couple of like movie discussion, book discussion
Mm-hmm.
sessions. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Aditya contacted me whether I want to become, like, it was even more informal for us.
Mm-hmm.
He contacted me whether I wanted to become a coordinator. Then Pranav was like a very close friend of mine, so
Mm-hmm.
I asked Pranav that okay, I don't want to do this alone. By like let's do it together, get into it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's a
Pranav
very
was the guy
uh-huh.
who pretty much handled the treasure hunt of use like of Felicity 19 along with other people obviously, but yeah. So
Mhm. It's almost as if, and this might be true for most clubs, Lit Club, Debsoc, Dance Crew, these three clubs I know for sure. We're expanding our team by the year, and it's getting more and more like official, if I may say it that way. Right? And that's very interesting to observe. How do you all plan for the coordinators of the next batch? How do you all plan to select them?
Uh,
So our main objective is to like select people who are interested and who like
Mm-hmm.
enthusiastically organize events.
Mm-hmm.
So we invite the freshers to help out in Felicity events, and there we'll get to know like whoever's interested and whoever wants to continue, and mostly we'll be selecting out of them itself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So for section A, I think we still have a bit of idea that who's
Mm-hmm.
enthusiastic and stuff from the event that we had. We still don't know about section B, but I hope that we'll get to know soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and
if anyone
mostly
is, and I
yeah,
mean,
go
if
on, go
anyone
on.
is genuinely interested or anything, like they can directly approach us, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
yeah,
what's the
that's
Pavani?
minimum requirement for being the coordinator, if that's the thing?
I would say just enthusiasm and interest.
All right.
I mean, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
sounds
Yeah, so it's nothing like okay, you need to have read a lot of books or you need to be interested in literature a lot to be a coordinator. Like even though there are a lot of people in the club who have a, a lot more interest in literature than I do, at least. But again, it boils down to event organization at one point because that's how a club remains active. So I guess that's the primary factor. I mean, obviously you can't be a coordinator if you know nothing about literature of any kind,
That's fair
uh,
enough.
but that's not the primary
Uh-huh.
requirement, I should say.
yeah.
So,
And it's not
uh-huh.
really like we have not been a very coordinator centric club.
Yeah.
I mean, so I remember that even our time we had like a lot of my batchmates, mostly people from my group, helping us form clues for treasure hunts and things like that. Like coordinators are there to mostly plan out things, to take the initiative basically. So we need somebody to take that initiative that okay, we are gonna have an event at this point of time. But apart from that, it's not like most of the other participants of the group. I'm calling it a group most of the time, but yeah, of the club are free to just take up the lead and create or like conduct any event that they feel
Mm-hmm.
like. So yeah, that's there too.
Uh, like even during this Felicity, so a couple of days ago, Mayank approached me and he was like, "Okay, me and Ashutosh have a pop culture quiz set ready, and we want to conduct it during Felicity."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Go ahead." So when they were preparing the pop culture quiz, I had no idea that this was going on. So he just came up to me, "I have this set. I want to conduct it during Felicity," and I was like, "Okay, that's awesome."
Yeah, this is also something like we would like to like see more often like people coming up with ideas and like we provide the logistics and everything for the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
event too.
we were just discussing about this the other day. Like one of the long-term visions we have, like, is Lit Club becoming more of a community than like an event organizing club. And
Mm-hmm.
like people just come up on their own, they organize whatever they're interested in, and we help out with the logistics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we don't want any sense of hierarchy to be there in the club. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like we are the ones who are helping create the events. That's all. Like everyone else is a part of the club.
All right, one thing I find interesting is you guys currently have 6 active coordinators, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So how do you all how do you 6 coordinators coordinate with each other for a successful club? Because that's a large number.
So
So I
usually, like whenever, yeah, go on, Paul.
no go on.
So usually, like whenever we have any idea, we just like text each other like, let's have a Discord meet. We plan out the event, and it most of the times happens. Like
Uh,
it's as simple as that.
So
Yeah. Like most of the planning goes
everyone's
impromptu.
uh-huh.
Like most of the planning goes impromptu. Like we don't go into expecting like we'll
Mhm,
get something, but like in the end, like random
mhm.
ideas come out and like it's
So
it
y'all
somehow
are
blows
like
up and
y'all all collectively share the same vision for the club, so there's no visionary arguments and stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm very happy about. We've never
yeah.
had, disagreement on anything.
Hmm.
Like it just happens that somebody suggests something and either everyone agrees to it or they suggest a better idea and then everybody agrees to that. So we've never had any sort of disagreements at all. And
Hmm.
then, uh, yeah, like speaking of stuff like logistics and all, so Bhavyajeet and Pranav help us out with stuff like budget and all of that technical stuff. And then, uh, and then whenever we want to do something like initially when we just become coordinators, we weren't taking the lead actively. We sort of depended on these guys,
Hmm.
but they always encouraged us whenever we want to try out new ideas. So that's been very helpful, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, the thing is that like everybody is free to like take up the charge for any particular event that he wants to and conduct the event. So if tomorrow says anybody has an event and either like nobody would ever have an argument or objection to it. Either people will like most of the time people would brainstorm and suggest say something better than that or things like that in addition to it or something of that sort, or they would just help in getting that thing done. So if
Hmm.
there's an idea coming up and if there's some other guy, so either you improvise upon the idea or you just make it happen. So that's pretty much it. So I don't think like these guys, like the four of them have definitely been coordinating themselves among like really really well, and I guess same for me and Pranav and even among ourselves then. So yeah, it's that way.
So how does one become part of the Lit Club? It seems to be like a very open society, but how do I get in your books so you can notice me and make me a coordinator?
I guess join us on Discord, like
Uh-huh.
and like we plan on having like continual book discussions or like just
Hmm.
hanging out on Discord, like talking about
Hmm.
literature, comic books, several genres, everything. Like even movie screening, we are planning on like
Hmm.
holding a few and like yeah, that's I guess the best option.
Hmm.
That,
I mean, to become a part of the club. Okay, so here's the thing. We have a very open and active Discord,
Hmm.
which is used for all purposes. There are random discussions happening. There are fan stories coming up.
Hmm.
There are like discussions about what if discussions and things like that,
Hmm.
right? So just join in, talk to people, participate in the events, the formal events that happen, and then come up with ideas. Okay,
Hmm.
so we all of us are perfectly fine with people coming up and saying that okay, I want to conduct this event and I need the somebody to help me with logistics, to somebody to help me with like the marketing and the planning of the event and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it.
Hmm. So how has the online semesters hit Lit Club? How is that affecting Lit Club?
I guess online semester was a boon for us rather than a
Hmm.
bane, because like the club flourished quite a like it got a bit more popular and like
Hmm.
people are participating quite a lot, and that is pretty cool. Like we
Yeah,
had a
I
lot of more plans like that we would like to carry out, and like
Hmm.
yeah, some of them are like too ambitious to happen. Like I guess in the recent future, but like
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, Pavani.
We started an Instagram page nearly after the online semester started, and that created a lot of more engagement in the club.
Hmm.
And collaborations were a lot easier, I would say, in online semester compared to offline. That also increased engagement. So yeah, it's been a good online semester for Lit Club.
Hmm. I have a small suggestion. Y'all don't have to take it, but I'm just putting it out there. You can collaborate with the hacking club to have like an online treasure hunt of sorts, something like that. Just putting it out there. Y'all don't have to accept it. But if you do, that's gonna be, I
I
think that's
mean,
gonna be
we
epic.
had something of that planned, I
Yeah,
guess.
Uh-huh.
Already.
yeah. I sort of mentioned it already. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that was the
Uh,
big event kind of that I was talking about. Yeah, like
if you want to steal the credit,
Wait, did
go
I
ahead. But
spoil it?
no,
Not
no, no.
really.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
didn't spoil
but,
anything. I cool. I genuinely did not know that something like this was in the works. So I guess what we can move on, where we can go on from here is, um, we can talk about the favorite events, individual events that have your favorite events to
yeah,
organize and participate in.
before
Ah,
that, like
I.
adding on to your online offline thing and also addressing this favorite events thing,
Uh-huh.
something in the offline mode that I'm really missing is the fun of conducting events on spot, like the fun
Hmm.
of okay, so for treasure hunt, I remember there was this time when like me, Aditya Muralia, and
Hmm.
like I guess Shreyas was also there, and all of us. We just went around a campus tour with a notebook and a pen in hand, trying to figure out, okay, what clue can be written for this particular place. What do we have here? So those things are really fun. Having like midnight meets at CIA or like hostel or wherever, and then having people participate in them physically. So that is something that we are missing. Obviously, the scale of events has gone up. Like Pavni mentioned, we have had an Instagram page. We had a Discord server set up because we everything was happening online. But yeah, there are certain things that are being missed from the offline semester. So yeah, there's that.
like even last year's treasure hunt, like Bhavyajeet mentioned. So on the day of treasure hunt, we suddenly realized that we still haven't printed the clues yet. So,
Yeah.
so like I think 15 minutes before the event, Bhavyajeet and me rushed to the labs and we tried to get the stuff printed, but the guy we talked to, his printer's ink ran out, so the clues could not be printed. So we had to find someone else to print the clues and stuff
We
like that happened.
sneaked into a research center. We printed the clues. We got them on time somehow. The event was not delayed. Hope like fortunately, uh, thanks to our research labs and their printers. So yeah, there's chaos, but there's fun too.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And then I think some clues got printed too many times and some clues didn't get printed enough. So, like, they were on
Uh-huh.
different pages, right? So, one page got printed too many times and something
Yeah.
like that happened.
Okay,
And
so
So,
like
what
I
happened
will,
was, yeah, so what happened was that the last few clues
Hmm.
were not okay. So we initially thought of having the event run through for everybody, right? So if you
Hmm.
started the event, you were free to go on till the very end of it.
Hmm.
But then we realized that okay, the last few clues or the last two clues, we do not have enough of it. So we realized okay, it's fine to eliminate people in the last two
Oh,
clues. Let's do it this way that only like say 10 teams do not pass the second last clue, and then 10 further teams do not go to the last clue because they were the last 10 teams to arrive. So
mhm.
that is
How
something
many
that
teams
happened.
did y'all get total in participation?
We had around 250 individuals participating for treasure hunt, if I
Oh,
remember correctly. It was something around 230, 220, something of that sort.
hmm. That's a huge number for an
so
on-campus event of
around
anything.
60, so around 60 teams, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
around 50, more than 50 teams. There were around 57 teams, I guess. 56, 57, something, somewhere around that.
So I guess now we can move on to favorite events you've had to organize and to participate. Let's start with Shreyas?
So I think we could you could start with any of us, and all of us would say which please in union as our favorite event to organize. So
Uh-huh.
the thing that made which please special was like initially Pahul and Alapan were just like chilling in Discord. They were discussing some stuff about Harry Potter,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the discussion just turned to like organizing an event,
Mm-hmm.
and then they called all of us, and we had in mind a really some huge like long term plans and all,
Mm-hmm.
which we might do on an offline semester, so I'm not spoiling it right now.
Yeah.
So all these ambitious plans, like long term plans, we decided to convert that into um into like immediate events. And yeah, you Pahul, you can continue from here.
Yeah. So initially, when I was talking with Alapan, I was like, Harry Potter's birthday is coming. Why aren't we doing anything? And then, I mean, not that we celebrate it, but like as a club, we are just finding for
Uh-huh.
excuses to do events. So we started like, okay, let's do a 2 day event or something like that. And then we thought, okay, like that was when the Matty Theatre recently started. So then, few minutes later, we were like, okay, we can actually have a thematic theatre themed around Harry Potter. And then, like after half an hour or something, it turned into like a 2 week, 3 week event, which actually evolved into which place.
Mm-hmm.
So
The same
that's
goes to
what
reunion?
like, huh?
The reunion. No, wait. What was the second event that you said, Shreyas?
I mentioned only which place, right?
Oh, my bad. I guess I heard it wrong. All right, continue. I guess that
So
I
that
guess that caused Animatsuri and other week-long online events.
Yeah, so those were still, I would not consider them major events like which
Uh-huh.
place. So Animatsuri was something that if we started planning earlier on, and if we had time, because I remember that time we were busy with, I don't remember what, but I think it has to be related to triple IT because like academics is.
What else
So
will keep you
we
busy
all,
that seriously?
yeah, so we all were busy. That's why we didn't consider like conduct anything major at that time.
Mhm.
But I think if we like started planning way back then, we might have done something. But yeah, like even for which place, it was not like we planned long ago. It was only I think 10 days ago or something like that
Mhm.
when we even started
Yeah,
to
I
like
think
plan this event.
so. Which place had a event called Quizardry, and like we had to make out like all the questions and everything. So like even like a lot of people were helping out. Like in all of these conversations, like a lot of other people also come in, give their inputs. Like Rishi is present a lot of times. And
Yeah.
like yeah, so like
Mhm.
like I guess we were working the entire night preparing questions and like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of Quizatry, the night before Quizatry, like we were still preparing sets and stuff like that. So we planned a total of 7 rounds, one corresponding to each Horcrux.
Mhm.
So so obviously there were a lot of questions, and then I think 15 minutes before the event, it turns out that uh, everyone from Quiz Club is busy for some reason or the other. So we have to be the quiz masters.
Oh.
So like we had no idea until 5 or 10 minutes ago, and then suddenly it was like me, Shreyas, and I think Alapan have to be the quiz masters, and we hadn't done anything like this. And there was this bot that we used. I think Zubair,
But
yeah, I think Zubair coded up that bot for the quiz club. So that's what we used. It was like so spontaneous. We didn't know how to do like how to use the bot or anything like that.
I guess
And
Jai Ganesh was there helping out with the bot. Otherwise, I don't
yeah,
think it would
yeah,
have
Yeah,
been.
without
Jaganesh
Jay,
was,
it would have
yeah.
Yeah.
been so bad.
So I called him. I'm like, okay, this bot is acting up. I don't know what to do. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll come. So he stayed for the whole time and he helped out a lot. Otherwise, the event would like be a failure. Uh, but yeah, there was so much chaos. But that's my favorite thing about Quizatry.
So
That
like
it's
even during the events, like so we made the rules, like we didn't put too much thought into it because of the time constraint. And
Mhm.
during the event there were a lot of like conflicts, like okay, this is not fair and all. So we just like kept changing the rules as we went on, and everyone enjoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, like there were net issues and everything, like
Hmm.
calculating score
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
initially.
Like some of the things literally started out as a joke. Okay, so I still remember that. Okay, so we are like these guys were joking about that how we are almost coordinating with every club, and there's like very few clubs that are left. And Pahul says that okay, ESL bhi bacha hai and music club, dance club bhi bacha hai. And then Alapan is like, okay, ठीक है, music club से भी हम कर सकते हैं. Let's get this done by music club. And like he said, we can always have a pitching session for magical club and all this. Like, okay, since we have ideas, then why not do it? Let's do it. So that is how these things started. Like we started out as a single event. We collaborated with two
Hmm.
clubs, three clubs. We realized that okay, since we are doing it with two, three clubs, why leave the other five? And
The other five.
then,
Okay, were you all collaborating with OSDG?
we have collaborated with programming club. We haven't collaborated with OSGG yet.
Why have you collaborated with Programming Club? How? What?
Alapan,
How did you
Alapan,
do?
Alapan.
How did you?
I think we did something for which place I'm not sure, but like we had a few more ideas also, like for programming club, like
Yeah. We
like
even
yes,
collaborated with the electronics club.
yeah,
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the electronics club one was really good. So,
How? Wait, what?
okay, so during which please for the programming club, we these guys had a contest or something where questions were Harry Potter based theme and
Uh-huh.
like they were themed around Harry Potter and things like that. For program for with the robotics and electronics club, the ERC club, we had like at that time they had this Jugaad thing going. They had an event called
Jugatronics.
yeah,
Megatronics.
yes, exactly. So for like one edition of that event for a week was based on Harry Potter and was based on the Witch Please theme. So yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So, any other favorite events of you guys, Alapan, Pavani, Bhavyajeet, to organize?
Clash of Clusters was also a lot of fun
Uh-huh.
organizing, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, but one thing about it, like we didn't expect that big of an outcome. Like Discord
Uh-huh.
was crashed. It was completely
Oh,
unexpected.
maybe that's because it was something along the lines of
In one first channel, there were like 90 people hanging out. So like that
Yeah. In a
was
single voice call.
We had
maybe
around
it,
like 150
uh-huh.
to 200 people joining the server that day.
yeah. Like we were pretty surprised by
Maybe it's because
that one.
Clash of the Clusters posed as something that was something in that was happening instead of Freshers Night because they didn't get like a Freshers Night yet, and all of that energy went into Clash of the Clusters, and
Yeah.
that's what
It was
happened.
actually a part of their induction.
Uh-huh, yeah.
So Bhavyaji told us, like, since he's part of the Apex as well, that try to do something which which makes freshers interact with each other and not just, sit
Mhm.
on their screens and do stuff. So we tried to think of stuff like that, and so he was pushing the idea of, people interacting with each other. So that's why we came up with this. Okay, let's make them interact at least within their cluster, so they'll coordinate with people from their cluster, and they'll decide, okay, who's going to participate in which event, because we actually set a cap. Okay, so from every cluster, only two people can participate in this one, three people can participate in this one, so on. So they had to coordinate amongst each other. Okay, you're going to participate in this and stuff like that. And then they so the winning clusters from each event accumulated points, and then there was an overall winning cluster and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I remember during the first induction, there were like 90 people or something like that. And during Clash of Clusters 2, which was the section B in the induction, there were like 140, 150 people.
Damn.
So that's a lot. Yeah.
That's like the kind of reach that I wish DevSoc had. Whoa.
Yeah, but then you limit the number of teams which can register. So
Bruh, that was like a one-time thing. We limited that once. And that's because we expected 20 people, but we got like 50. Never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, I think
So,
the thing
uh-huh.
with triple IT events is that you can never estimate the number. I
Yeah.
mean, you conduct an event hoping that okay, 100 people would show up, and then you go to the room and you see that okay, there are only 5 to 10
Uh-huh.
people sitting. And then other times there are like you conduct an event thinking that okay, this is a short event for a
Uh-huh.
very
Yeah.
small community of around
And then
10
everyone
15
shows up.
people, and then yeah, then everyone shows up and you are like okay, what to do with this now? So yeah,
Exactly.
that is something that always happens with triple IT both ways.
Hmm.
I'm happy that it happens the other way too, like we more than expected people show
Uh-huh.
up, but yeah, so that is something that is always there. So
Hmm. So, favorite to organize, Pavani, what about you?
Which, please?
All right. Uh, Favorite offline event to organize, Bhavyajeet.
okay, I would say yeah, treasure hunt.
All right. All right.
Treasure hunt.
Treasure
Everyone,
hunt.
I think.
So, uh-huh. Bhavyajeet, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that it's fun to not just organize, but to even on the on the day of event, seeing like people run around excited for clues and things like that. It's good. So and that is why it happened like twice or thrice for your batch. I guess it happened during the induction, then it happened once during Buzz, then
Halloween.
finally Felicity. It didn't
Uh-huh.
happen on Halloween.
Wait,
Halloween was
the
escape the room.
escape room. My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Escape the room happened on Halloween.
Uh-huh. My bad. My bad. So, yeah, it's a really good payoff when you see loads of participants and all of them taking your event seriously. Because at
Yeah,
many
right.
times you expect people to unenthusiastically show up and leave midway, and that doesn't happen. It's a very strong motivator, I've noticed. So moving on, what about favorite events to participate in?
Mine will be, I guess, Felicity Buzz ka the treasure hunt. I think
Hmm.
that was pretty. That was. That was
Yeah,
Wait,
I
I
would
I
go with
participated in that one. Our team was about to come like first place, but we didn't say the last clue's word right to Bhavijit or
right.
someone.
It was the
Yeah,
Doctor Strange
we didn't
clue.
say one word right, and that's why you would like go back and come again, and that's why the other team won. What? I
See,
so
you have to be specific with the clues.
uh-huh. What about the rest of your favorite offline
Yeah.
event, a favorite event to participate in?
So if I talk about last year, like first year, I think for me it was escape the rooms during Felicity,
Hmm.
and then even this year I participated in some events. Like I participated in the Harry Potter debate.
Hmm.
So I think that was one of the events that I enjoyed a lot because most other events I couldn't participate in because I was organizing.
Hmm.
But this was an event that okay, I just participated in, and it was fun to participate in.
Um,
Yeah,
Pavani?
this year I
Uh-huh.
guess we mostly participated in the debate events because rest of the others we were like organizing basically.
Organizing.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on mute, by the way, if you're speaking something.
Stretch your mute, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not speaking anything.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
okay,
It's just
okay.
the crows in my background, so I'll better be on
Uh-huh.
mute.
Okay.
Bhaviji, what about you?
Uh, okay, so yeah, so I would say yeah, for me participating, there's this event in our first year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Pictionary sort of event, like
Mm-hmm.
minimalistic posture Pictionary. It happened when we were in first year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that was really fun. We had like a lot of people showed up, and we had to guess movies and then show it to our teammates by drawing things on that board of SH1 and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So that was pretty fun. That was among the first events of Lit Club that I participated in. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pavani, what about you?
Yeah, I really like the Felicity Bus treasure hunt, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't get to participate in many of the events.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really into quizzing, so I think that if I would have participated in Quizity or something, I would really enjoy that. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get to participate in any of the quizzes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shreyas?
My favorite would be the Felicity bus treasure hunt. Like I can't forget the feeling of just running around all over the campus with like and that's when we were like freshers, so like all the enthusiasm came up. It was a really nice experience.
Right. So since y'all are lit club, every one of you will have to have like a favorite book or movie, right? Or else would you be part of like the lit club coordinating team? So let's talk about that. Even though I don't read a lot of books, I'm sorry if I offended you guys. Let's talk about this. Uh, Shreyas, why don't you have a go at it? What's like a
So
super? Uh-huh.
I don't think I have a favorite movie, but my favorite book would be Ready Player One.
Uh-huh.
Like I really like gaming, and like the Ready Player One had so many like literary references, so it brought like two of my like favorite things together. So yeah, I would recommend it to everyone. Yeah.
What about you, Pahal?
So for me, one thing is I don't know what my favorite is. Like you ask me, my answer will be different every month. So
What about February?
yeah. So like usually what I've recently read or watched becomes my favorite for a while. So my favorite book right now is To Kill a Mockingbird, which I was planning to read for a long time, but I didn't find the time to. But then I read it for the value education assignment. But
Oh,
yeah.
you're in
So
lit
so
club
like
and you're
instead
reading because of value education.
yeah, so like
Oh,
instead of scamming the book review, which I could have done,
uh-huh.
I decided that I'll read the book because I wanted to do it anyways. So because a lot of people had recommended, so I just read the
Uh-huh.
book, and right now that's my favorite. And speaking of movies, I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm more into anime and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So again, right now at this point, my favorite anime is Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Pavani, what about you?
Yeah, I don't have a favorite movie or a book, but my favorite genre is horror fiction. And yeah, that's like my forte. I watch a lot of horror movies, a lot of allegories. And
So like
I
anything
don't have a
recent,
favorite.
so anything recent that you've been on?
I just have a
Wait, is I think your
I
video,
think
yeah, there's
yeah.
connection issues. I will get back to her in a couple of minutes then until that's resolved. Alapan, what about you?
I guess my situation is kind of like Pahul. Like I keep on changing my favorites. Like currently at the top of my head, I was reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and The Man Who Folded Himself. I guess Shreyas was also reading The Man Who Folded Himself. It's a pretty
I
good.
don't know
Yeah.
any of
Yeah.
those. What is going on? This is peak lit club
Well,
conversation.
yeah, like we keep on me and Shreyas kind of like are keeping up reading like fiction kind of
Uh-huh.
like regularly. Recently, like before, I don't think we were that much into fiction, like due to college and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like
Right.
one memorable
Uh-huh.
book I the book Thief was a pretty memorable book for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like for movies, I guess Parasite because we watched it together in college. That was.
Right, Pavani, you're back. So what's the recent thing you've been on?
I haven't read a lot these days, but
Uh-huh.
I'd say like all works of Stephen King and H.P. Lovecraft
Mm-hmm.
and Dean Koontz, yeah, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I I don't read a lot, so I'm gonna confess I've only heard of like one of them. Okay. Bhavyajeet, what about you?
Okay, so okay, honestly, I'm not much into novels and
Mm-hmm.
books. I do read a lot of comics. Since a
Mm-hmm.
long time, I haven't get the chance to read a lot. But yeah, some of my favorite ones include like most of them are like Marvel DC stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
mostly DC. I like The Killing Joke. I like Injustice series and all those things. So they are like really good comics. apart from that, I watch a lot of movies, and it's pretty much the same as Pahul. So every month I'll have a different movie, which I can maybe call my favorite or stuff like that. Or if you ask me my favorite movie, if you ask me for recommendation, I can flood you in with recommendations for every genre and movies that I like in different genres. But I can't pinpoint a single one. But yeah, recently, not recently, I guess I've been a lot into some of the good Jim Carrey movies, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Truman Show, all those things. Then there are other good movies as well. Some of the old ones, some of the new ones I've been watching. Like Parasite was really good. Then I mean, there's a lot. You can't always like I can't always list them all. But if you ask me for a particular genre, I'll definitely have a recommendation for you. So there's that.
Last thing before this ends, uh, where did the weekly themes go?
Okay. So, yeah, one thing about them was that like it really took time. So because we
Uh-huh.
had a theme, we had to prepare stuff around that. We had to prepare questions, crosswords, recommendations, movie recommendation, book recommendation, and all those things. And then there's triple IT. So all these people were so every one of us was busy with something or the other, and it
Uh-huh.
required a lot of regular commitment.
Mhm.
So there was one thing. Two, like something with that was that it wasn't really engaging. It was more of a thing where we produce stuff and others maybe see it, watch it, and things
Mhm.
like that, right? So the club was becoming more of a Insta page, right?
Mhm.
So we are planning to have it back, and we would definitely have it back once the semester is over, because that time people have time to read. And
Uh-huh.
moreover, something we wanted with the themes was to for people to actually consume what we recommend, right?
Mhm.
So if somebody is taking up time to think about or say write a recommendation, then we actually want some people to go read it up a bit.
Mhm.
So as of now, people did not have the time to write, and neither did they have the time to read. So that why we put it on a pause. We'll definitely come back with it in the summer, and more interestingly, we would want people to take up and say that okay, I want to recommend this and I want to write a review or a recommendation for this. So that is
Mhm.
something that we have.
Yeah.
uh
Secondly, I think the initial motivation behind this was to, make the community more active with the recommendations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And right now, I think, we have a Discord server with, which is, I think, fairly active. People keep discussing stuff. People, keep recommending books to each other. So I think that purpose is kind of fulfilled now. So we are not doing it as frequently as we did in the initial 2 months.
Mhm.
Like we still do it every now and then. Like we did one on Halloween, and we also plan to have like every like once here and there. And as Bhavyajeet mentioned, after the semester is over. So yeah, it will not be a regular thing, but we'll not stop it altogether.
Yeah, we'll try to kind of lengthen and diversify it so that like, people
Mhm.
can engage more.
I We're near on the end. Is there anything y'all want the rest of the world, not the rest of the world, uh, the rest of the usually 400 people watching this?
Raghav is flexing his audience.
Bro, the first video got like 600 views, second video got 450 views. I don't know where this is going. But yeah, anything y'all want the rest of us to know?
Um, so I think it's actually time that I think Arjun, we can tell about the Felicity event that
Wait, are you
we
announcing it
thought
over
that we'll make
here?
people. I
I
don't
mean,
know. Should we? I don't know.
Hey,
yeah,
Should
I
we
guess
announce it?
keep the suspense.
Yeah,
Come
I
on, you
think
built
we
it up
should.
for so long.
We're planning to like release the form soon anyway, so I guess
How
we'll
soon
yeah,
is
I
announce it.
guess
soon?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
coming.
Your call. I'm not lit club. I'm not influencing anyone to do anything.
Yeah. Okay, fine, guys. Should we announce? Or
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
like anyways, it's coming up in 2 3 days. So
Okay.
yeah. So
yeah, so
Shreyas,
Cool.
please announce.
Okay. Yeah. So So our major event for Felicity is a roast play competition, which is basically you role play as a character and at the same time you have to roast other characters. So yeah, that's our main event. It will be a tournament based event and
Oh,
winners will be rewarded.
So you'll
Anyway,
register. So you'll register with what movies you watched or what books you have read, and we'll allocate a character to you, and then you'll have to roast somebody, and we'll also have a panel of judges slash commentators slash if you don't roast the other person well, they will roast you. Um,
okay.
so so that's what we're planning to do, and it's a very new experiment. At least I haven't seen anything like this, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I hope it turns out well.
Dope.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty.
yeah.
All the best to y'all for that event. I guess we're done. Thank you all for coming.
A small note towards the end of this podcast. I will be opening up the first minute of every episode on the podcast for advertisements pertaining to IIIT for anyone who is part of IIIT based upon my personal jurisdiction. So we'll see how that goes.